The Spotlight brought to you by Beacon Plumbing.
Good evening and welcome to The Spotlight. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Rose, and tonight we're going to pay tribute to a hero.
The DC Maryland line, and I see two dudes going at it. I'm approaching it. They're on the right hand side, so I'm in the driver's seat. They're on the right hand side of the street, about a block up. And as I'm coming, I'm seeing them fighting. They trading haymakers in the middle of the street. I bent the left and went the other way because you never know when one of these fools gonna pull out a gun and start shooting. Normally back in the day, I'd have slowed down and watched it and all that stuff. I was like, nah, man. I bent the left and got the hell out of there, man.
Whoever's doing the editing here is trying to get the message out.
But if you've been watching The Spotlight each week, you could almost see this coming.
If need be, that will be the case.
Because of COVID, the King County Jail has not been booking people behind bars accused of nonviolent offenses like shoplifting.
Officers would end up making an arrest, take them back to the precinct, and then they would be released without going to jail.
So where does the jail play a role in all this? I mean, if they're not accepting bookings, will they accept bookings now?
Well, that's part of the agreement.
The jail has agreed that any of the 118 offenders can be booked into jail for nonviolent offenses. The cases will be pushed to the head of the line, some consolidated and packaged for longer jail times or requirements to seek treatment as an alternative. But it's only people who meet a certain criteria. John Lomax, the guy accused of stealing 22 times from the Seattle downtown Target, including a 70-inch TV. He's not on the list. He just hasn't been accused of stealing often enough.
Now, the person would have to be insane to say this is not about race. See, black people's experience in this part of the world for the last 500 years has been about racism, white supremacy, dealing with black people. That's why people are called black and some people are called white.
You know what I'm saying? And I've lived my life as a Southern man, a stereotypical Southern man, to many degrees, even though. And I'm saying it ain't no solution. I think that's a bridge too far for a lot of people, man. A lot of people like, I secretly watch him. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of them watch me. They secretly watch me. They just ain't gonna tell nobody. Hit one.
Some people are called white and other people are called non-white. So it's absolute insanity for people to say this is not about race. Black police officers are not shooting black men at this rate. Black police officers are not shooting white men at all. You see, but I say the fear that the people who classify themselves as white have is they structure the system.
If you take a rat and you corner it, and you, let's say just one time, you start poking it with red hot needles, and the rat doesn't know how to react, and you do this, okay, and you wind up doing it again, or perhaps again, and if once in a while a rat turns viciously on you and just becomes a total vicious killer, which is really what I was, then don't go passing statements of morality.
Remember, check out the merch shop, check out the Patreon, hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal.
Hell yeah, I got my mug earlier this week.
You got the burrito mug, Jimmy?
I got the Glacier Glider coffee cup.
Sorry, I think you should get.
Is the big one back in stock yet?
No, I think that what we see happening is black people's fear of directing their attention to the white collective. Do you see? In other words, it's easier to focus on people who are in the same weak position. I mean, people might have a criticism to make of anything, but in this situation, what are the basic facts?
I didn't know there's different sizes.
Yeah, there's like a 10 ounce and a 15 ounce.
I think I got the 10 ounce one then.
The store showed an 11 ounce. So.
Or yeah, 11 and a 15. There used to be a 15 on there anyway.
Well, I just say I live in a red area, and we have very good police that do a very good job of keeping stuff down. I don't know about the sentences handed down because we're not seeing that much of a problem here. But this is a very red area. It's not a big city.
But guys, listening to the
No, go ahead, AP.
Oh no, I was gonna say is that just listen to the gentleman from the UK, just hearing how he's talking. There are a lot of gliders like that here in America. No matter how much you show them what's going on, they're just in denial. I just listening to him, I couldn't believe what he was saying. Like he couldn't figure out what was going on when they're facing the same problems in the UK.
To be honest, if he was looking at UK through what you see in the mainstream media and for what you see in the UK versus here, he wouldn't be getting an accurate picture, even if that, because they have a little bit more diverse criminal population there.
Right, that's true.
But it
well,
can't be
and
as
their sonmen they're barely one generation deep right now.
Yeah,
for a large portion of their African refugees. They're barely one generation deep.
Because I'm used to being around the brothers. The brothers they're pretty violent. I mean, it is what it is. Like I said earlier, spray bullets and brothers go like PB&J. And I don't know why. I don't understand why. This is the greatest country in the world.
They're just quick to anger. I mean, from what I see, over stupid shit. I mean, grown ass men arguing about shit, junior high level shit.
It's about the principle, man. But
that shit that doesn't matter.
Oh, it matters. Somebody has to go, brother.
No, I'm talking about in real life. In things that actually matter other than street cred.
Mayo, this is real life to the point where you could lose your life. What are you talking about? That's how real it is. Like
I think what he's trying to say is
they're arguing
most
over
men.
Stupid. They're arguing over stupid shit. They're killing each other over fucking nothing. Social media beefs. Oh, you dissed me in a rap song. If that's the shit that matters in your life.
Hey, you know what matters? Black Lives Matter.
Not to black
and
people.
not only that, they're willing to shoot children and anybody who gets in their way. They don't care. They'll kill anybody. That shows that there's no soul. You can't have a soul.
Yeah, that's a disconnect. I mean, that's a disconnect from reality. Because your biological imperative.
It's a culture. I think it's like access. It's a cultural difference. At the end of the day, that's what it seems to be, Not better, not worse, it's different.
But it goes against your basic survival instinct.
I disagree. I think it goes straight to your survival instinct. I mean, you gotta shoot him before he shoots you, Mayo. Because he's gonna shoot you. Over stupid shit, me and you agree on that, but he just might shoot you in the face. Because
Yeah, but he knows when a Sunman gets stopped, he knows that cop ain't gonna murder him unless he tries to pull something.
Well, if you're talking survival instincts and stuff like that programmed in, is in the frozen north, you couldn't survive without a community working together because you just could not hunt enough to feed a family without a group.
same
And
thing
I
in
think
Africa,
that's
I'm sure.
the difference. The difference and that's why I say there's a difference in IQ among the races, because the men that live in a colder climate, like he says, you need a community, and you also are constantly looking on ways to survive. You live in a warmer climate, everything grows there. There's more food, there's more things like that. But in a colder climate, you have to worry about keeping warm, you have to worry about protection, and you have to rely on each other as a clan in order to survive. I'm not saying that you don't have to rely on each other in the warmer climates, but in the warmer climates, they're more apt to survive. The more harsher the climate, the more community-based you are. The same reason why you find among Middle Easterners and those Arab countries that are known for harsh desert areas, they are very tribalistic. Very tribalistic. So there is a difference.
Okay, now I hear that whole thing about the evolution aspect of it, and I believe that has something to do with it, but I don't think that that's the whole picture. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that and the Europeans, they mated with the Neanderthal, and we mated with that ghost species. I think the Denisovians. If I'm not correct, somebody in the chat correct me.
Denisovans.
Yeah. And those people, that group that we mated with, that we wiped out, I guess we made extinct through, like we swallowed them, we enveloped them. They had
I was reading something that now they think there's a third group from sub-Saharan Africa, besides the Denisovans, that aren't what the Northerners bred with.
You mean that the Arabs?
No. It was in sub-Saharan Africa.
Oh, it's a ghost. Yeah, that's the ghost. That's the Denisovans is this ghost population of Homo of early men that we mated with in. And I think that has something to do with it. I think the piece we all just were talking about with the evolution and over time, I think it's a big picture, a confluence of factors that led to this. I don't think it's just one thing.
And then too, there's even diversity even among the African people, because not all African tribes are violent. I mean, there are a lot of the tribes who just want to be left alone, who don't have this violent sect.
Well,
I mean, and then
that's true. No, that's true. That's true. However, could you imagine being one of those non-violent Sunman tribes in Africa before white people and Arabs got there? You probably lived in a constant state of slavery and hell. You know what I mean?
Well, the same thing was going on here in Northern America, and people act like, the Native Americans were all peaceful, smoking a peace pipe. No. Like, you look at the Aztecs, they in the Southern Americas, they were the biggest, the baddest, the most brutal tribe. They enslaved the other ones. Same thing here in North America.
And so did the Greeks, and so did the Romans. Yep. All people did this shit. My thing is the random, see, this is the thing. Okay, if you take all groups and put them in this framework, in the framework of this, the way things work now, civil society, like almost the zenith of civilization. If you took us and you put us in, like I said, if you put some people on a savanna in a rainforest, in a marshy swampland or something, or in some plains somewhere, we were just living there in our huts and shit, and planting our crops, a little rudimentary crops, and fighting our little wars amongst each other. That would have been no. We're not supposed to be in this thing. We weren't made. We were never made for this. It's almost unfair to have us in this. The way we were evolved to was that we never would have created this. The Europeans, they would have created this. They did. So they can function in this without slaughtering each other, because this is of their creation.
You see, but I say the fear that the people who classify themselves as white have is they structure the system for their genetic survival. They don't want that system revealed. And so they put a damp or a clamp down on no discussion of race. If the black person brings it up, then the black person is accused of playing the race card. And all of the people who are brought on to comment about the situation, their discussion has to remain within certain parameters if they are going to continue to be accepted or allowed to talk on the television or the radio. So there's fear on the part of black people of upsetting white people, because the white people are not going to tolerate it. I would even say, just look at this fact. There's only one psychiatrist in the entire United States of America who has been writing about racism and white supremacy for the past 40-plus years. Only one. There's only one psychiatrist in the entire world who has been writing about racism and white supremacy for the last 40 years. That psychiatrist is Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. So you would think that if a physician has been writing about this particular problem for the last 40 years, and the only one, that person would be called on to talk about it. Would you think?
Yes, ma'am.
See, so that would be like a person coming up with an answer for cancer. And, based on how people have been helped by that person's knowledge about cancer. But then you have a big epidemic of cancer, and that person is not called on. But in other words, I understand it. See, in other words, the people who classify themselves as white, they do not want their behavior or their mindset, conscious and subconscious, to be open for insight. Because that would mean that the expectation that once you have insight, then you stop doing what you're doing. But if you don't want that to take place, that means you want to have racism. In other words, the denial of racism, white supremacy, or the failure to look in all corners for solutions to the problem simply means that you want the problem for some, survival for others to continue.
Wow.
And I'm saying it ain't no solution. I think that's a bridge too far for a lot of people, man. A lot of people I secretly watch him